The Iraqi government has not stepped up and done what it was expected to do. And the Bush administration has persisted in its failed policies. I have a simple three-point plan when it comes to Iraq. Number one, start bringing our troops home now. Not next month, not next year, not the year after that. Start bringing our troops home now. Number two, tell the Iraqi government if they don't make the tough decisions that only they can make, we are not going to babysit their civil war. We are bringing our young men and women home, and if they don't make the tough political decisions that only they can make, we are not going to continue to provide them aid. We are not going to fund people in a government who are part of the problem, not part of the solution. And number three, the Bush administration has to engage in intensive regional and international diplomacy. You know, in this administration, diplomacy has been turned into a bad word. You know, diplomacy is what you do when you're leading a great government like ours. You know, we talked to the Soviet Union all during the Cold War, didn't we? We despised their way of life. We thought communism was an affront to human rights and human nature, but we never stopped talking to them. They had thousands of missiles pointed at us. They had leaders who said they would bury us. They ran wars against people around the world. We kept engaging in diplomacy. I mean, can you imagine President Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis saying, well, I'm not going to talk to them. They're bad and evil people. Well, you can imagine the joy in the Kremlin. They'd say, terrific, let's get those missiles in. Let's get them set up. Let's aim them at Miami. I mean, this has been a break with the tradition of Democratic and Republican presidents and the way the United States has best functioned going back generations. I'm going to get back to diplomacy. That doesn't mean I will give an inch when it comes to American values. But I think you're smarter to figure out what's going on the other side than to just sit there and insult them and point fingers at them and tell them they're supposed to behave a certain way. We've got to deal with our adversaries. We've got to try to contain them. And furthermore, we have to send a message to the rest of the world that if we ever do have to take military action, it is action of last resort, not first resort, and the rest of the world will see that we tried to avoid it, not with this president who led us into a preemptive war and didn't allow the inspectors to figure out whether or not there was any danger inside Iraq to the United States, our friends and our allies. You know, I'm proud to come from a state that is home to one of every 7 union members in the entire United States. I work closely with our unions every single day. I've been proud to stand with them and to work with them. And I've seen the great impact that unions and union membership has made in the lives of so many people. First-generation Americans, 10th-generation Americans of every racial, ethnic, religious background who are proud, who feel that their work has dignity and respect because the union stands up for them. I'm proud to stand with you. I'm proud that I've been able to be a partner over the last 6.5 years, and I look forward to being your partner in the White House. We have a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House. We need more Democrats in the Senate because we've got to overcome the problems that the Republicans can cause us. But I'm absolutely convinced we can do this. I am optimistic and I am confident. Now, I know that some people say, well, you might be able to make history as a woman running for president. And that has crossed my mind, I have to confess. It's a very exciting prospect. But I am not running for president because I'm a woman. I'm running for president because I think I'm the best qualified and experienced person to be the president of the United States in January 2009. And I want to end with this story because it really sums up for me what I hope I'll be able to do as your president. My great friend and our former Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, was asked to go to Europe in 1995 to commemorate the end of the Second World War 50 years before. And some of you may know she was born in the former Czechoslovakia. Her family had to deal with Nazism and communism, so she was proud and privileged to go. And she traveled all across Europe, and particularly to the countries behind what we used to call the Iron Curtain. And everywhere she went, she saw American flags. But when she looked more closely, she realized that those flags had only 48 stars. And she started asking people, where did these flags come from? And everyone told her the same answer. These flags were passed out by American GIs who liberated Europe 50 years before. And people had saved these flags. They became family treasures, passed down from grandparent to parent to child, often at great risk, because, you know, if the Soviet occupiers had found flags in these people's homes, the people could have gotten into really serious trouble. So Madeline said to them, why did you save these flags with some danger to you all these years? And everyone said the same. Because we love America, and we love America's values. And we always hoped someday we'd be able to live in freedom like Americans. I want to be the president who restores that feeling around the world for our country. And equally importantly, I want us to feel that way about ourselves again. We are a good and great nation. We can renew the promise of America here at home, and we can restore respect for America around the world. I hope that you're ready for change, because I'm ready to lead. Thank you all. God bless you.